The Pedralbes Palace is commonly known as Palau Real, the Royal Palace. The antique building, which was inspired by Italian aristocratic architecture, was built in 1925 for Alfonso XIII. Its rooms serve as quarters for kings, presidents, and diplomats visiting the city. The Virgin Mary of Pedralbes Monastery was built in 1419 on the northwestern edge of Barcelona. The St. Clara order was named after the sister of Francis of Assisi. There are nuns of this order living here up to this day. Therefore, not all the buildings can be visited. The temple, the museum, and the monastery garden grasp the visitor with their medieval mood. The former monastery for men was built on the design of the Santa Maria di Basalo Priori. Today, it provides space for religious offices. The simple, horizontal proportion of the temple is a complete opposite of the vertical mass of the belfry. There's the crest of Queen Isabel on the side facade. The garden is surrounded by a several-story-high arched loggia. There's a fountain in the middle. The garden is full of palm trees, orange and loquat trees. There are blossoming oleanders on the wall. Tibidabo Hill is the favorite excursion place of the locals. In 1900, a rich local patriot apothecary, Dr. Andrew, established the Tibidabo Corporation. The Blue Tram and the funicular railway were built. There's a car of the legendary Tram Azul exhibited on top of the hill. The two vehicles taking the visitors to the funicular rail were powered by two 45-horsepower engines, which are now considered to be industrial relics. On top of the 532-meter-high hill, there's the Temple of the Sacred Heart, with an observatory and amusement park beside it. Almost everyone who spends at least 1 week in Barcelona takes an excursion to the Costa Brava, the wild coast starting 100 kilometers from the city. The southern edge of it is Blanes, once famous for its harbor. Now it's full of modern hotels and sunny beaches. There's a botanic garden here where orchids, cactuses, succulents, and palms await the visitors. The most well-known resort of the area is Lloret de Mar, which is nothing more than a huge beach. At both ends of the half-circle, covered with golden sand, there are huge cliffs. There's the castle of Sacaleta from 1929 on the northern cliff. The streets of Lloret are full of tourists from spring to autumn. It's worth taking a look at the Maiolica roof, Gothic church, and the museum beside the city hall. There's a statue of a woman on the southern cliff. Standing beside it, one can enjoy the view of the beach and the endless sea. Tossa de Mar is similar to other holiday centers, only nicer. The city core was built on the cliff closing the bay and is called the Vila Vela. The castle wall was built in the 12th century to protect the city from pirates. At the foot of the wall, there are little taverns where one can eat fish meals, zarzuela, and other Catalonian specialties, and follow it with a sip of Spanish sangria. It's worth walking up the cobbled alleys leading up to the hill because of the beautiful sight. One can see the full beach from up here, and if one goes higher, up to the lighthouse, one can see the open waters and the cliffs standing out of it. The salty spray of the sea is mixed with the smell of the pine trees, while the seagulls are flying over one's head. This is the Mediterranean dream.